Scott, I think you and I are both excited for the next one here. New space RPG for Mass Effect veterans take a hard sci-fi approach to FTL travel. And that means there's nothing that can save you from the ravages of time. Ali Jones over at Games Radar. Last year, a group of BioWare veterans unveiled Exodus, a new space RPG made by former developers from Halo, The Last of Us, and of course, those classic BioWare RPGs. In a new FAQ, the developers attempted to explain that approach. One of Exodus' key ideas is time dilation, the principle that the closer you get to the light speed, the slower time moves for you. In Exodus, that means that, quote, while you may experience only days or weeks passing by on your own journey, years or even decades pass for everyone and everything else in the galaxy, end quote. That idea is key to Exodus' choice-based gameplay and multiple endings. The decisions you make in the present could be felt years, decades, or even centuries down the line after you return from your spacefaring adventures. And developer Archetype is keen to make sure that you know there's no way to reduce the effects of time dilation. The devs describe the phenomenon as an inescapable fact of our universe and an immutable law of physics. That means that, quote, there is no possible way to prevent, avoid, or alter the effects of time dilation, end quote. No items, abilities, or technologies will protect players from the long-term consequences of their actions because time dilation is stitched into our understanding of the universe, and Exodus is taking a pretty hard sci-fi approach to its world. The core facets of the game based in, what do they call this place, dude? I almost want to say it's like Eastinian physics.
Elohim?
Either way. The hard sci-fi.
Oh, Einsteinian. That's
Einsteinian?
It. Yeah,
okay, there it is. Yeah. The
relativity and such.
The hard sci-fi is also based around the understanding that it is not possible to travel at the light of speed. But to help with that, Exodus relies on a technology known as the Gates of Heaven. Gates of Haven. And a hyper-advanced technology left behind by a missing race known as Eidolons. These gates allow travelers, those who explore the galaxy, and will have to deal with the effects of time dilation to accelerate instantly so close to light speed that interstellar travel becomes possible. Dude, this is a long article. There are some hints around the narrative Exodus hidden within the description of the gates. The Eidolons absence from the galaxy seems like a plot point, and there are also mentions of what happens if the gates are attacked or otherwise destroyed, as well as an in-universe rumors of a virus capable of damaging the gates. Dude, definitely feels like a touch of Halo in there, doesn't it?
Oh, this is reading almost exactly like Mass Effect, which makes a lot of sense being a Mass Effect BioWare project from a lot of the people that handled that are on this game, and I think that's the idea. In Mass Effect, there's an alien race that goes away, and they left behind all the Citadel, the different relay points that let you shoot across the galaxy in much the same way as this, but there's no effective time in Mass Effect, and I think that's really, really cool when it comes to Exodus here, because this could be, well, that's how you show a lot of the consequences of these choices without having to make it a 3-game trilogy. It doesn't have to span a decade, and I can actually see. Well, hopefully, it appears that I will actually be able to see the effect of my actions in this game, which is a lot more than you can say about Mass Effect.
yeah, for sure. Dude, I'm very curious to see how they pull this off. I think there's a lot riding here, I think, and there's a lot of high expectations from what the developers themselves have set, right? The bar is high. Can they pull off what they've set to showcase to us? I thought Exodus looks incredible. We saw a trailer over at Game Awards. I was like, where was that? So many showcases these days. It's hard to keep up. But it was one of those things like, man, this looks incredible. What is this? Well, and then you get into it and you find out that they're playing with the light of speed and then the whole time dilation thing. And then the promise of you, which is one of the biggest things I love, is that there's consequences. Dude, your actions will reflect your game experience, which then lines up for that water cooler moment, as they used to call it back in the day, where you meet up and go, yo, I did this. Oh, really? I didn't. I ended up doing this instead. And I went down that path, and that's how that played out. And it was just, man, can they pull that off? This whole time dilation thing, I think sounds incredible. I want to see what the consequence looks like from weeks to decades to centuries. Like, can they really pull that off? What does that game mechanic look like?
It reminds me of a lot of Sifu. And could this just kind of appear like Sifu, except you're not going to age because everybody else will?
Dude, that game is hard. Every time I died, I got older. I was like, man, are you kidding me? They ended up dialing back the difficulty for people. I was like, whew, thank goodness, because it was tough. But what a cool game! What a cool game!
It's
man.
one of those inescapable elements of physical reality that you just cannot mute.
Yeah, exactly.
The passage of time.
Here's the other question then, Scott. One I always like to ask: when do you think we see this?
Oh, that's a good question. I think this is just teasing, so I really wouldn't expect to see much more on this game for really the rest of the year. Summer Games Fest, we'll see something.
Yeah, I think this goes away now. I think they've had the FAQ, which maybe piques some interest for probably some more help, more developers to come in, and maybe some more financial backing is the other side of it, right? Let's lay the groundwork. Let's talk about what a game is about, how it works, what our systems are. Let's pique some interest for some investors to come in and help keep this project going and get it to the end, right? But at this point, it's 2024. We see this, dude, I'm guessing in 2029.
Yo, that far away?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's that far away. I hope not, because I really want to play it, but I think that's where we're at.
Well, it is very ambitious, but this is an all-star team, so I think you're right about that.
Lucky for us, she made it home safely. While she was alive, she